Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ari Gonzalez, and I am extremely happy to bring you guys the first episode of my new podcast, Run It Back, which is a music business news podcast where I'll be giving you guys the rundown of all that's happened this week in our tumultuous, ever-changing industry. Today we'll be talking about new releases, some unfortunate deaths, lawsuits, and much, much more. So let's start with some new releases. For those of you who don't know, there are about 60,000 new songs added to Spotify every day, so there's no way that I'm going to be able to get through every single release that's happened this week, but here are some ones that have been heavily publicized. We've got John's release, which is a single featuring Jai titled Figure It Out. Ravina's new single, Rush, which comes along with her recent signing to Warner Records. We've got Joey Badass's Revenge, Chris Brown's Iffy, NLE Choppa's Too Hot featuring Moneybagg Yo, Earth Gang's All Eyes on Me, Murda Beats One Shot featuring Wale and Blast, Sledgren's Chill With Me featuring Wiz Khalifa and Larry June, JID's Surround Sound featuring 21 Savage and Young Baby Tate, Russ's Remember, Tyler Yahweh's Do No Wrong featuring PNB Rock and Trippie Redd, Jonah Lennox's No One Gets Me featuring RMR, and then we've got Kanye West and The Game's joint release Easy. In this track, he happens to diss Pete Davidson, and he also features his new girlfriend, Julia Fox, on the record, which is pretty interesting regarding all of the recent drama that is going on with him and his divorce. This track also sparked some backlash from PETA as the new release's cover art does feature a skinned monkey. Gunna also released a track in which he disses Freddie Gibbs, and Gibbs responded in disappointment, since Gunna quite literally said that the release would be the highlight of Freddie Gibbs' career. It seemingly was not, so Freddie Gibbs responded in disappointment over his Instagram story. In some other news, we've got some awesome congratulations in order for Arjun Pulijal, who was recently named Capital's newest president, and Janelle Curtis, who was appointed Chief Enterprise Transformation Officer of Warner Music Group. I'm going to give them a quick little snap round of applause because we love to see minorities in places of power in this industry. It's much needed. So once again, a huge congratulations to those two. Next up, the top earning performers of 2021 have been named, and they are as follows in order of highest earning to lowest earning. We've got Bruce Springsteen following a recent sale of his catalog in which totaled hundreds of millions of dollars. We've got Jay-Z, the iconic businessman, Paul Simon, who also sold his catalog, Kanye West, who's got a lot of different entrepreneurial endeavors. We have Ryan Tedder, who has also sold a large portion of his catalog. The Red Hot Chili Peppers, Lindsey Buckingham, Motley Crue, and Blake Shelton also were able to get on this list due to recent catalog sales. And then finally, we've got the pop girly and the only woman on this list, Taylor Swift. All right, in some more happy news, we've got Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City being named the top-selling rap vinyl, which makes a lot of sense. We've got Giveon's Heartbreak Anniversary going triple platinum. And then we've also got some awesome news that physical album sales are continuing to grow for the 15th consecutive year. And Adele, along with her recent release 30, were definitely able to reap the benefits of this. Then we've got, finally, the market for background music is projected to reach revenues of over $3,449 million by 2030. That's a lot of money. Let's move on. In legal news, Fat Joe and Remy Ma had a recent victory regarding their song All the Way Up, where rapper Eric Elliott alleged copyright infringement despite signing away all of his rights to the song in a Miami IHOP before the release came out. This fact made this case pretty open and closed in favor of Fat Joe and Remy Ma. Next up, we've got Kanye, who is currently under investigation for an alleged assault of a fan. Yikes. The big three file a lawsuit against YouTube DL's host provider, Uberspace, in a situation extremely reminiscent of the Napster fiasco. And then finally, we have Nirvana, who is being sued by the man who used to be the baby on the cover of their album, Nevermind, and he is suing Nirvana for child blank. I'm sure you can fill in the rest of that. In news for recent acquisitions, Warner acquires Africa-based distributor Africori, SiriusXM acquires Cloud Cover Media, which is a service providing background music to businesses like restaurants and retail stores. And then finally, we have Picmo and BMG, who have recently formed an alliance in order to acquire many music rights. In some other news, Billboard Vietnam released their first round of charts. Australia's music industry calls for a government-backed insurance for live shows as a result of all of the cancellations that have came out because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Lil Durk announces his 7220 tour. And in some scary news, Doja Cat's recent concert in Indianapolis was met with a bomb threat. Next up, we've got Ashanti, who is in the process of re-recording her debut album, which is self-titled, and she is doing this in efforts to gain the rights of all of that music. Hypebot was recently named the best music industry newsletter by Symphonic Distribution. The new lifestyle brand Workshop launches in Detroit, and they have goals to disrupt the music industry. We love to see it. Issa Rae delves deeper into the music industry with her company Radio and their new creators program, which hopes to support emerging artists by acting essentially as a label for them. And then we've got K. Michelle, who announces her 6th and final R&B album. In news of drama and controversy, we've got J Balvin, who is a white Latino, and he was named Afro-Latino Artist of the Year, which is continuing to garner backlash for some pretty obvious reasons. We've got Benny Blanco continuing to voice his utter disgust for Charlie Puth. And Cardi B and Cuban Doll go back and forth on Twitter after Cuban Doll brings up Offset's cheating scandal. On a more serious note, sexual harassment continues to run rampant in the music industry. India Arie voices her opinion on the music industry being a racist, sexist, deceitful industry that, in her words, is sheer and utter trash. COVID continues to ravage the live music sector, resulting in several cancellations of shows, festivals, and all things live music. And finally, the New York R&B radio station 103.9 FM was unfortunately recently replaced by a right-wing conspiracy theorist show. So that's interesting. To end off this episode, I will be paying respects to some folks who have recently passed. Marilyn Bergman, who was a part of the songwriting powerhouse with her husband, in which they wrote songs like Barbra Streisand's The Way We Were, and Mitchell Legren's The Windmills of Your Mind. Unfortunately, we've also got Michael Lang, who was the co-founder of the iconic Woodstock Festival. We've got Houston rapper D Bando, who passed away from complications from COVID. And then finally, we have the R&B trailblazer and writer of the 1983 hit Juicy, James Matume. I wish all of these families a peaceful grieving process, and I offer my deepest condolences overall. With that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. It would not be possible without the amazing, hardworking journalists at all of, the music industry publications, to name a few: Rolling Stone, Hip Hop DX, Hypebeast, Billboards, Music Business Worldwide, and so much, much more. You can find links to all of these stories in this description box below. And with that being said, the background music for this particular episode is brought to you guys by my client, Payne, his newest release, Wavy. So if you guys are looking to find that song, you can also find that in the link in my bio. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed and found this helpful, and definitely stay tuned for next week's episode. Thank you.